Hi class, today we are in Saxon Book 3, Lesson 38, and our lesson is telling time to the nearest minute. So, for this lesson, it is helpful if you have some kind of clock manipulative. If you don't, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to draw one. But if you have something like this at home that you can move the hands around and look at different times, that would be awesome. So I'm going to use this. It's my favorite because as I move the minute hand, it automatically moves the hour hand for me. So this is my favorite one to use. So in previous lessons, you have learned how to tell time to the nearest hour. For example, this is 1 o'clock. You have learned how to tell time to the nearest half hour. In this example, it's 1:30 or 1:30. You have learned to tell time to the nearest quarter hour. So here it's 1:15 or 1:15. And here it's 1/4 till or 1/4 of 2, which is 1:45. So this is our last lesson on time, where we're going to learn how to tell time to the nearest minute. So I'm going to get really, really close with my clock, close to the camera there. Notice we're counting by fives with each of the big numbers, but do you see these dots that are in between? Each of those dots represents 1 minute. So we'll back up here to 1 o'clock. If I move just one teeny dot clockwise, now it's 1:01. If I move another teeny dot, now it's 1:02. So let me give you this example. Notice how my minute hand is not exactly on the 5, and it's definitely not exactly on the 4. I have to look at the little dots, or some other clocks have notches like this on them. So to tell this time, I know how to tell the hour. It's between the 1 and the 2, which tells me that my hour is 1. It's 1 something. And then I can count by fives till I get to the 4. So I would go 5, 10, 15, 20. But then I have to count by ones till I get to the dot that is being pointed at. So this would be 21, 22, 23. So this time written digitally would be 1:23. And I'll show you what that looks like here. If it were sunny outside, it would be 1:23 in the afternoon, which then we'd write a p.m. 1:23 p.m. Okay? Some examples you might see in your book is they may give you the digital time and have you fill in a clock. So here we have 4:36 p.m. They wrote down the digital time, and they want you to use a clock to show what time it is. So I'm going to use my clock here, and then I'll show you, if you don't have a clock, how you can draw one. So we've got 4:36, so I need to first get my hour hand to the 4. So here I have 4 o'clock. 4:30, so I know I'm going to go 4:30, and I can even go all the way to the 7 because that's 35. And now I just need to make my minute hand point at 1 notch past the 7. So now it's 4:36 p.m. Notice how my hour hand is almost the whole way over to the 5. That's because in about 24 minutes, it's going to be 5 o'clock. And the closer this minute hand gets to the 12, the closer the hour hand gets to the next hour. It takes 60 minutes for the hour hand to go from one big number, in this case the 4, all the way to the 5. But as we turn that minute hand, notice how it's getting closer and closer and closer. And actually, I think my clock's a little bit off because I would say that's past the 5. So here we go. Now I fixed it. It's at the 5. And as I go backwards, now it's at the 4. So it takes one turn of the minute hand to make the hour hand go just this little space from the 4 to the 5. Okay, so that last problem was 4:36. So here we have 4:36 on my clock. But let me show you how to draw that if you don't have a clock to play with and you have to draw pictures. So clocks, analog clocks are circles. So we're going to start by drawing a circle. And then I do my 12 o'clock because I know that's right up top and center. And opposite from there is my 6, my 12 and my 6. And then I do my quarter hours. My 3 goes over here, my 9 goes over here. Once you have those 4 spots, you can pretty easily fill in the 1 and the 2, the 4 and the 5, the 7, the 8, the 10, and the 11. And then just make your notches for each of those numbers. So there's my 1, my 2, my 4, my 5, my 7, my 8, my 10, my 11. And in between each of those is 5 minutes. So the 12 here represents 0, 0, as in o'clock. So then we need to have 01, 02, 03, 04, and the 1 is 05. So then we fill in 06, 07, 08, 09. The 2 is 10. Fill in 11, 12, 13, 14. We already have 15. 16, 17, 18, 19. Already have 20. And it goes so on around the clock till you get up to 60. So that's how you could draw a picture of the time. All right, our next example. Oh, excuse me, turned too many pages. The clock shows the time Donald started his homework after school. Write the time in digital form. So this is just one where they're going to show you a picture. And in this case, that's the picture. That's what time Donald started his homework. How would we write that in digital time? Notice the hour is between the 4 and the 5. So it's the 4 o'clock hour. And then here, my minute hand is just past the 3. So I know we've got 5, 10, 15, and then I got to get really close. We're pointing to this dot right here. So we have 15, 16, 17. So we would write that as 4:17. And he's doing his homework after school. So is that going to be AM or PM? That should be PM, 4:17 p.m. I don't know anybody who does homework at 4:17 in the morning. All right, we have a couple lesson practice problems for you. I'm going to show you a time on my clock, and I want you to write down the time digitally. So you can do this on a piece of scrap paper, on a whiteboard, anything that you have handy. But pause the video after I show you the time, so that you can take as much time as you need to look at it and figure out what the exact digital time is. So we're going to start with this one. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Write down the digital time and hit play when you're ready to see the answer. So hour hands between the 1 and the 2, so it's 1. And then down here we have 25, 26, 27. So you should have 1:27. Oh, and the book does specify it's morning. So 1:27 a.m. in this case. If you didn't have the a.m., that's okay. I didn't tell you it was morning. So 1:27 a.m. The next one. Turn my minute. Oh, excuse the interruption.
Adriana, please report to the office, please. Right now.
Okay, here's the next one. Again, it's morning. So take a look at that clock. Pause if you need to. What time is it? Okay, it's past the 12. So knowing that the hour hand is pointing right at the 9 there, we know that it's 9 something. And it's not yet to the 1, so it's not 9:05. So we can just count 9:01, 9:02, 9:03. So we write that with a 9 and then a 0 and a 3. And once again, it's morning, so we should have an AM. Okay, our final lesson practice problem. One more time for you. Oh, I went too far. There we go. Okay, there's the clock. Pause if you need to. So, in this case, our minute hand is not at the 12 yet, which means it's just before 8 o'clock. So we're going to write 7, and then this would be 7:45, so 7:46, 7:47, 7:48 is our time. And 7:48 in the morning is 7:48 a.m. That's the end of your lesson. Now is the time for you to do your written practice, which begins on page 208. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again soon.